Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, what an absolute beautiful day it is out here in California. It is truly something. I'm here with my kids and my grandkids. I'm in the backyard of their place, and boy, I've been having just an amazing time. Guys, I'll tell you what, the things in life that really don't cost that much, in my estimation, so far have been the things that have brought me the most pleasure, to be sure. Just having time with my children and my grandchildren and stuff like that. And I remember the days, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you guys credit that are making this commute every day into work and doing what you can for your family and stuff like that. I remember those days. It wasn't that long ago for Judy and I to get up and do the hustle and the bustle and the race and the rage and all that kind of stuff. And it's really, by the time you even get out the door, you're already half stressed. And so I really commend you for doing it, because I know you're doing it for your families. You're doing it for your future. You're doing it for their future. And I'll tell you, that is a worthwhile endeavor, to be sure. And now that I'm a, semi-retired, I guess, if you want to call it, because, it's retirement for sure, but we're busier than we ever were while we were working. It seems that's how it goes. But I'll tell you what, the enjoyment that I'm getting out of these kids and these grandkids has truly been amazing. And guys, it is a worthwhile investment, investing in one another, and the dividends that they're going to pay you later on. It is all worth it. Keep on doing it. I'm telling you, your payday's coming. Now, having said that, so the article that I was reading this morning, and this one's coming out of Italy, and what Italy has done recently has introduced, get this, a windfall tax. Yeah, a windfall tax. So if you happen to make it big on some investment that you get, well, apparently there's going to be this windfall tax. Oh, well, that was just a big time deal. And so now they're going to tax you on, these, on gains like that and stuff like that. And look, we've heard, what was it? I think it was, wasn't Nancy Pelosi. It was, oh my gosh, it's right on the very tip of my tongue. Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen was the one coming out there saying, hey, we need to think about taxing unrealized capital gains. One of the most mind-numbing nonsense things you could ever, conceive of, taxing unrealized capital gains. But that's what they were throwing out there. Guys, it will not surprise me if we start to see, especially in this digital asset space, a lot of talk about, hey, we should have a windfall tax, because they know what's coming, guys. They know that those of us that have had the gumption to go out there and invest into this space, and if we have the nerves of steel to be able to hang on, because they've done everything and anything to really, really shake us out, well, I think the next thing that they might pull out of their hat is this whole windfall tax deal, and tag it, say, oh, well, maybe the tax should be like, 40% and stuff like that. And you know how capital gains are in the States, right? If you hold your assets for like, I think 12 months, then, the capital gains 20%. But if it's underneath that and what, it's a 40% tax. Well, maybe they'll just eliminate that for, this digital asset space, because they know where some of us are going to see such gains. It is going to be mind numbing. And so I think, yeah, that's a possibility. But to see this coming out of Italy, and Italy, man, like, they have an amazingly conservative president in there, and that woman has done some phenomenal things to, stand up for her country. I mean, it is really something else. And I'll tell you, I think that, when you see all this stuff going down, and oh, by the way, Moody's came out and downgraded a bunch of banks. And get this, at the end of the article where Moody is, where they're talking about the Moody downgrade, Moody's saying, yeah, well, we're still looking at, we might have a mild recession still. And that. I thought that recession was off the table. Isn't that what Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell were telling us? Oh, there's no recession whatsoever. Guys, the economy is telling us that we're going into not just a mild recession, but probably something way, way worse. And yet, it's just double speak all the way around. But don't kid yourself. If they can tack on some sort of deal like this, like a windfall tax, you could almost bet your bottom dollar, if they can think it up, they're going to try and get it done. I'm telling you. And guys, that is where, don't just sit there on your armchairs and do nothing. Look, your voice does matter, believe it or not. It really does. Because you can get out there, you think one letter into some of these senators and congressmen and stuff like that, do you know how they equate that? One written letter into them usually represents almost like 1,000, constituents. So you go out there, I'm telling you, get your voice heard, because that's the only way that we are going to be able to combat all this attacks against this space. So if they can't take us down and they can't prevent us from making any gains, well, maybe they can scoop them up on the back end. Guys, we can get out there ahead of this game and not let that happen. And that's why I'm saying, get out there, make our voices known, especially when we got CBDCs coming and all the stuff that's going to go on with those and everything else. It's so vitally important. And hey, we need to vote some of these dinosaurs out of office, and there's a few out there that really need to absolutely go, and there's a few we need to get behind and support. And that's the benefit of being in a nation like the United States, or in Great Britain, or in Canada, or in Australia, where it's supposed to be a democratically elected government. Well, hey, we got to get out there and do our part so that it's not just the status quo. Look, there's some people that are sitting in Congress that have been there for almost or more than 40 years. That is absolutely ridiculous. We've got to be able to get out there and really, really do something so that we can see a future for ourselves and for our kids. Absolutely zero doubt there. But you know what? Most people just don't do it. They don't take the time. A lot of people, like I said yesterday in my video, they're just so concerned about the day-to-day price movement. And you know what? That day-to-day price movement, if you're just looking at that all the time, you are setting yourself up to be absolutely wrecked. Why? Because all your emotions, you look at the price, oh, it's down, and you feel bad that day. Hey, the price is going up and you're having a euphoric day. Guys, don't let your emotions be so tied into that day-to-day action. Look at that long-term utility. Yes, there is a day coming. I absolutely believe it, that we are going to see the true value of these assets come to light. That is for sure. But look, when we're dealing with what we're dealing with now, I'm thinking what we should be thanking God and just, all the blessing that he's given us to have the ability, number one, to be aware of this space, and number two, to be picking up some of these assets at the prices that we are right now, because it's not always going to be that way. And there's a day coming, I genuinely believe it, where most people are going to be looking back saying, you got that for what? And they're going to go on like that. That's what's I experienced that, and I'm telling you, it can happen again. I genuinely believe that, guys. Don't let yourself get so tied into the day-to-day price action that you get emotionally wrecked, because when you see it going up, oh my goodness, and you're gonna sell it, and you may end up selling it way too early, or you may FOMO. You can FOMO two ways, can't you? You can FOMO getting in, and you can FOMO staying in. And some people are gonna stay in way too long in the initial moves. Yes, down the road, but look, if there's goals you got, if there's life-changing events that you need to see now, then you need to be able to get out there and know what you hold. That's why I say research it for yourself. Don't get all caught up in the day-to-day price action, because, hey, a great day is coming. I genuinely believe that. But we're going to have to go through, the trials and the growing pains, just like everything else in life. There is a transition period, and we're experiencing it. But don't let that dissuade you from the ultimate utility of what it really is. You can see the handwriting on the proverbial wall. At least that's how I'm thinking. Absolutely. Well, guys, I sure hope you're having an amazing day. And until later on, when we have an absolutely fantastic video planned for you, I sure hope you have a great one, and take care.